everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dave and I'm just up on my feet after spending the last 2 weeks recuperating after I've had a total knee replacement surgery. I've got a titanium left knee now, and it was something that was bothering me for quite a few years, and I finally made the decision that I had to get it fixed. And my number came up 2 weeks ago and I went into surgery and had it done, and I've just now been up the last couple of days trying to walk around a little bit on it. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is about my John Deere tractor, my 2025R. And just before I went into hospital to have my knee done, I was madly and frantically running around the farm here trying to get stuff done, because I knew I couldn't obviously do much for a couple of weeks. So I was mowing the grass with the zero turn, and I got on my John Deere tractor and I was trying to start it to move my compost pile around, and I couldn't start it. And I used my normal key, and I haven't started the tractor in maybe a month or so. But long story short, I couldn't get it to run. Now my tractor lives in this carport area here. It's undercover. It's out of the weather but not really out of the dust, and you can see everything's actually covered with dust at the minute, so this obviously needs a good clean. And this is my UHI mini excavator that you've seen on the channel before. I am working on a video on this one because I've had this excavator for 2 years, haven't had a problem, but just recently I've discovered down here in the travel motor on the left hand side here that it's actually got a bit of a leak. And I don't know if you can see it. If I put the camera down here, you may be able to see that there's a bit of like an oil film on that travel motor. It's not a big leak, but I rang the guys at UHI and they seem to know what the problem is, and then the process of just sending me out some new seals for it. So I am working on that video, and that will be probably a couple of weeks away or so. But anyway, back to the tractor. So my John Deere tractor, 2025R, I bought it from my local John Deere dealer new in 2020. I think it was October or November in 2020. It hasn't done many hours, but I still like using it, obviously. I don't use it enough, and a lot of the time it sits here or in the garage. And as I mentioned, I went to get on it the other day before I went into hospital, and I couldn't get it to start. And I'll just show you what the problem is. This is the key that I've been using for the last 3 years now. It was the one that was delivered with the tractor, and I've been using it. So the problem is that I have my key, I put it in my switch, which is down here, and this switch is a 3-position switch. So it's got a stop here, a power function here, and then the start switch here. When I turn the key to the first position, I can hear a click, and I can see that all the lights light up on the dash, and that's all good. I go back to the position of the key and go to the start, and there's nothing. I can wiggle the key, nothing. It's not firing the starter at all. Can't start it. And one thing I did check was to make sure that the tractor wasn't actually in gear. I have done this in the past where you get off the tractor and you leave it in high or low, and it won't start. So you'll see there's an error message here on the dash, which basically is telling you to shift the gear to neutral, and the tractor obviously won't start if it's in gear. So I have checked that, and that's not an issue. So just to show you on the side here, if you actually do leave it in high or low range, what can happen is you get that error message on the dash. But as soon as you click it to neutral, you'll hear a solenoid click and the tractor should be able to start. So I'll just click it into neutral. You can hear that click. And if I come across here to my key switch, there's still nothing. Okay, so I think my ignition switch is bad, but well, I think about 80-90% sure that it's the ignition switch. But just to cross a couple of things off the list, what I should do is maybe check the battery and charge the battery. I haven't driven this tractor for over a month, so maybe just sitting here the battery level has dropped low enough that it doesn't actually fire the starter. So let's go and get the battery charger and put that on. My battery charger. Right, I've just connected up my battery charger down there onto the battery. I did check the voltage with the voltage meter and it registered about 12.1 volts, and I don't know, is that enough to start a tractor? I thought 12.1 might be okay. Maybe it's a little low. So I've got it on the charger here and I'll just leave it on for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours and let it cook away, and then I'll measure it again and see whether I can then start the tractor. Okay, I've just had some lunch and it's about 3 hours later now, and just back at the tractor, and I'm checking my battery charger, and I can see that there's a little yellow light on here now that says it's fully charged. So I'll get my multimeter and just see how many volts we've got in the battery. Okay, so that's telling me that I've got 13.1 volts in the battery, so that's pretty good. So it's come up maybe a volt. Before I put the charger on, it said it was 12.1, so let's see if that makes any difference now. Okay, let's try it again. So I'll turn my key on. Lights are all on. I'm in neutral position, and wiggling the key, start, and nothing's happening. So my battery is good. I know I've got 13 volts in the battery, which should be more than enough to start the tractor. I've checked my gear selector is in the neutral position, which it is. It still won't start the tractor. I've tried the key, I get power and I get dash lights, but I still can't start the tractor. I was thinking maybe I could try and hotwire the starter, and I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on that, but I don't really know if I want to go down that path yet. I still go back to my original idea where I think that the ignition switch has failed. So what I think I'll do is get off the tractor, get on the computer and have a hunt around and see if I can find a new switch. Right, I'm back inside now and I'm on my computer, and I've opened up the parts catalogue for my John Deere tractor, my 2025R. And this is a really good thing that I do like about John Deere, that they allow you to access parts catalogue online and you can easily and very quickly order parts. So I've set up an account for myself. It's showing me over here that I'm in Australia and my local dealer is RDO Equipment in Racecourse Road, Rutherford 2320, which is about 20-25 minutes from where I am. The web address for this is partscatalog.deere.com if you're looking to find parts. So I've got open here a drawing of the components that are in the dash of my tractor, and I'm zooming in now on the ignition switch that I want to order, and that's coming up as number 4, and I can see over here they've got the details. So it says ignition switch 14 volts. 14 volts. I don't know what 14 volts actually has to do with it, but that's what it says. The part number there is LVU 29433. I can click on this and it gives me more pictures of what the actual switch looks like, and that looks very much like the one I have. And what I'm looking at also is the pin connection in the back. You can see these pins there. Can I zoom that up? I can zoom that up. Let me just see if I can go to that one. So you can see the pin configuration here looks like this. One word of warning I would say is you have to be careful, because when you're looking around for ignition switches for the tractor, you'll notice that this one here has only 3 positions. So it's a stop position, a ignition on, and then a start position. You will find on Amazon and eBay a lot of ones that actually look like this, that are a 4-position switch. So they have stop, headlights or lights, then the start, then the ignition, then the start. So they are a different switch. and on the back of them they actually have a lot more pins that won't line up with what's on my tractor. So I thought, oh, I'll just buy a cheaper $36 switch instead of an $80 switch, but obviously this won't work. So just be a bit careful that you don't actually order this one, which is the wrong switch. Right, back to here again, so I'll just close that off and go back, I think. The other thing I want to do is I want to, I think, order us a new key, because I'm not too sure whether the problem with my ignition switch was caused by using a wrong key, but I'm going to order a new key actually for this. The key, funnily enough, doesn't actually come with the ignition switch. You have to order it separately. So that's the ignition panel key there. The part number it says here is T828443, but that's not the correct number anymore. It's actually been substituted for this one down here, which is an LVA 17264 key, and this key is $10.91 plus tax, so I can add that to the cart as well. What you can also do on this John Deere website is to type in a part number, and in my case this is the key LVA 17264, and it will tell you what equipment this part will actually work with. So it's giving me 22 results here, and I can see that it will operate and work in everything from a 1023E compact tractor up to my 2025R compact tractor, and I can also see that it will work in the 3 Series tractor, the 3025E, all the way up to the 3038E tractor. Now, if you have a 1 Series tractor and the ignition has failed and you're looking for a new ignition switch and a new key, then the 1 Series and the 2 Series are exactly the same, so you can order the same parts as what I've just described here. Okay, so my parts are ordered, and I'll just wait a couple of days until my local John Deere dealer rings me and tells me that they're in. And in the meantime, I've just been spending some time looking on some of the US tractor forums and trying to get some more information about problems with why tractors don't start and problems with ignition switches and keys and things like that. And it led me to a great thread talking about the keys that John Deere use on their compact tractor range. And previously I showed that video where the key for this particular tractor was said to operate up to, I think it was 22 other John Deere tractors. I've actually found out since that this little silver key will actually control or turn on up to 470 other John Deere products, 470. And not only that, but the same key is actually used in a lot of other manufacturers. One of them, for example, is Husqvarna. So all the Husqvarna ride-on mowers use exactly the same ignition switch and exactly the same key. And one particular post that I did read that was quite alarming was from a guy that had actually lost his John Deere key many years ago and has never used it, and said that he had been using any other small key to operate his John Deere tractor. And I thought, that's pretty weird. And in the post, the guy was saying that he has a little key that he uses to open his roller door on his garage, and that he can get on his tractor and the key actually works to operate his tractor. And I thought, that can't be right. So I've got a small key like that from my roller door, so I'm going to jump on my tractor and see whether it actually starts using a roller door key. Okay, I'll just try my original key again. So this is the one I've been using for the last 3 years. Goes into the switch, turns it on, I get lots of lights. Go to start, nothing. All right, I'll leave that key there. And I'll go to my keys on my key fob here, and this is my small key that I use for my garage roller door. It doesn't even look like the same key. It's a lot longer and a lot thicker, but anyway, let's have a go. So it goes into the lock. Well, it turns on all the lights. Will it start? Serious? So how crazy is that? That little garage roller door key will actually start my tractor. I wonder if there's any others on here that may work as well. Let's have a look for another key. What about that one there? That's completely looks different from my original key as well. Let's see if that actually works. Put it in. Oh, that turns on as well. I mean, sure to God, it's not going to start again, is it? Really? Okay, a couple of days later now, and I've just been up to John Deere and got my new parts that I'd ordered. And here we are. So this is the switch, and the key is inside here. So this is the new key. It's got a nice red tab on it, but strangely enough, it looks very similar to the key I already have. Anyway, we'll see whether that works. And this is the new switch here. All right, so let's get this installed. Now at this point, I'm sure some of you at home are asking, well, why go ahead and replace the ignition switch if you've managed to get the tractor started? And that's a valid point. And I think my answer would be that it's more of a long-term solution. I can start the tractor now with a non-genuine key, but I don't know how long that situation's going to last. It might last a week, a month, and then it might fail completely. So I think long-term, I think I'm better putting a new switch in. And I'll take this one out and I will keep it as a spare. Okay, I'm going to take out this PTO switch here first, and that'll allow me to get access to the top of the ignition switch. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a wiggle and just prise it up slowly, and then that should come out like that. Just lay that off to the side for the minute. Okay, I can see on my new switch here that I have a tab at the top and a tab at the bottom, and these need to be compressed. So what I'm going to do is get just a flat screwdriver and come in through the hole here and just knock this first tab down here. So I'll just go in this hole here. I've disconnected the battery, by the way, so there's no voltage going through here. Now I can push down on this tab and this top one will come out, and then the switch just pops out. So that was pretty easy. I can disconnect the connector on the back, get my new switch, line it up with my connector, push it in all the way, and just click it back into place. And then push my PTO switch back in, and job's done. Okay, that was a simple fix. So I've got my new ignition switch in, I've got my new fancy red key. Let's see, will it start? Lights are on, that's all good. Well, I'm very happy to be up and running on my tractor again, but I guess the take-home message from this video is that if you had the same problem as me, where you put the key in and you get dash lights but it doesn't start, then I think the very first thing you should try is pick any other small key that you have in your key ring and try it, because the chances are the tractor may just start. It's not a long-term solution, and I'm happy that I made the decision to put the new ignition switch and the new key in, and hopefully I won't have any more problems, at least for a long time. Well, that's today's video. I do appreciate everybody watching the video and commenting on the videos. Thank you for all your support. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.